Welcome back. So in this video, I would like you to create the rest of the user interface items to have the same structure as you can see here. So let me select the date real quick. You can see that we have another text view in here, which will display the date and uses the same color as we had here at Calculate Your. Then we have a grayed out selected date. So you would just have to find the color that is this grayed out color. Then we have the amount of minutes. Also in this color, you can see it's slightly bigger. The date isn't as big, but the minutes are pretty big. And then we have another text view with grayed out text. And you can see there's a little bit of distance between those. So they are connected to each other. So those two and those two are connected to each other. So I would like you to pause the video and try to replicate this. It doesn't have to look exactly the same. You can use entirely different colors. The text size doesn't have to be the same and so forth. It's really just about you creating this user interface based on what you've learned so far. So first of all, in my activity main, I'm going to require a bunch more texts. So let's take this text view here, which just says in minutes, and let's put it underneath the button. So this will now create this new in minutes, and what it will say instead is something like the date. Okay, so in Germany that would be done like that. We separate our dates with dots, as well as we start with the date, then month, then year. Okay, so something like this. You could change the size here, of course. Let's say only 20 SP would be enough. So then we're good here as well. Then underneath that, I want to have another text view, which will say selected date. Okay, so let me change the text here to selected date. And I want this to be slightly, well, probably grayed out would be the best option here. Okay, so let's go over to our colors and see if we can find the grayed out color here. And it doesn't seem like it, so let's just create a new color. Okay, so I'm just going to create a new color called light gray. So equals light gray. And then let's find the light gray color. So here you could, for example, select this color here, which would be a light gray. So let's just copy that. You can, of course, use any color you like here. I'm just going to use this light gray color. And now let's go here and use this light gray color that I just set up. Okay, so it will say selected date. And then let me copy those two last items. So here, starting with this text view, let's copy those. Let me add those underneath. So just copy and paste it here. Now this text will be the minutes. So something like 14 million, for example. Now let's change that size to something like 30 SP. So it should be bigger than the other text, maybe even 35. So you can just play around with this and see what you like. And then I could add a little distance, as I said earlier, here between those two. But I believe the fact that this text size itself is larger, this generates enough of a distance. And in general, I believe the distance is good enough. Okay, so let's go ahead and test this on our device and see how this is going to look like. So you see it is similar, even though of course my button isn't done yet. So let's change that real quick as well. The button should have a better text. It should say select date, like so. And this text, select date, could be a little larger. So text size, let's change that to, let's say, 18 SP. Okay, as well as change the text color from this black that we use here to maybe also this gray. So light gray. Let's see how that's going to look like. I think that's all right. So select date, and then we have the selected date. Let's run it again and see how this is going to look like. And we can see that this is the application that we have here. Now I would like to change the color as well as the text that I have here at the top. And I would like to select the color that I have here for my age background thingy. So let's go ahead and find those. First of all, in order to change the name of your app, you can go to your values and then to the strings XML file. And here you will find the name of the app. So let's call this one age in minutes, for example. And let's rerun it just to see this change. And we can see it says age in minutes here. Now at the same time, in themes, there is the primary color and the color primary variant. Those are the colors that we have here at the top, right? So it would be the easiest if we just change those. So instead of using purple 700, I could just go ahead and use my color, which was, I believe it was this text blue color, or we could use the button background color, something like that. And then it's going to be, in my case, this color primary. So let's change that to text blue, for example. And let's rerun this application and see, there we are. So it changed it here at the top. Now you could say, okay, let's change the button color as well, but I believe the button color seems to be fine. Now, of course, we could go with a lighter yellow as well, but that's really something that you can play around with. And by the way, if you want to change it without having to enter an hexadecimal value, you can just click here and then just change the color from here. So make it a little lighter, for example, like so, and then check out how it's going to look on your app. So rerunning it will create this look. All right, so that's it for this video. Now we can finally start with the functionality. See you in the next one.